the setup play out. I kind of stick to some rules when it comes to markets like this. When we have, and that's why this ATR, you guys can see this on the screen here. Let's open this all the way up. We're going to talk about this for a second. Excuse me. When we have this ATR, what the ATR is, if you are not knowing, if you do not know, it is in a measurement, or it gives us an indication of volatility. So it measures the average true range of these candles. And so what this is basically telling us is that the average true range of these candles are 27. Why is that important? It is important because we are using a 15-point stop. So what does that tell you? It tells you that if you're wrong, you're going to get stopped out. If you've never been to any of my sessions, I try to work my way out of trades that are violating risk before the stop loss is hit. I use a 15-point stop loss as an emergency stop, right? So I try to mitigate that when there's an indication of my risk being violated. And hopefully we'll have an opportunity to talk about that, but we might have to trade some ES here this morning. Is that all right with everybody? Because this thing is boxing us out. And it's a mess right now. It's not really, and it's moving, but I guess you could call that a higher low. I'm just watching the dome, and it's a little slippery, right? So, and look at the price action. I'm gonna be the adult in the room and say we need to trade something a little bit slower, which is, honestly, look, we don't get to trade the ES a lot together. So this will be good for us, I think. Let me change over my dome here. So if you've ever wondered about my strategy on the ES, well, you're about to find out. And I am going to trade the micro ES. So we're going to keep risk really tight here this morning. The bracket that I will be using, give me just a second because I don't have a bracket yet. Where is it, man? The bracket that I will be using is, and you know what? We're going to change this one up just a little bit. Hang with me 1 second here. So this is the bracket that I use typically for the ES when it's really wide, but I don't want to use a 10 handle stop today. I want to use a 5 handle stop. So we're going to take risk out of the trade. Whoops. When it goes 3 our way, we're going to look for 10 handle trades here, 10-point moves. So we are going to risk 5 on this. And we're going to use a trigger here. And some of you might not know what I'm talking about, but I will just explain it. Not 80. We're going to use a trigger of 8. So actually with this wide a stop, let's go 12. We're going to use a trigger of 12 ticks. So what this means is, okay, we're trading the MES. Sierra's been locking up this morning too, by the way. I'm not sure what's going on there. So hopefully we don't get locked out of a trade here. So what it basically means is that when price, Ned, are you in here? Sierra's not working this morning. Yeah. Well, crap. That's not good. It's never good when your platform is not working, especially to Sierra. But it's a data feed from Iron Beam, so we'll just keep an eye on it here for a second. But let me get back to kind of the methodology and what I'm talking about. So when price goes the way in favor of the setup, okay, when price goes in favor of the setup by 2 points, that's what the 8 ticks are, but we bumped it to 12. So when it goes 3 points our way, it's going to place an even stop, okay? Look at that. That's not good. Yeah, you never want to trade when it's doing that. That's for sure. Okay. Hmm. Um, Interesting. Okay, so let's just discuss it. So it's just me, huh? All right. So what do we have on the screen here? We have a move down to the 88. We're outside of the initial balance. So in my pre-market playbook, when I talk to you guys about the initial balance, let me get that real quick here. And I don't usually get an opportunity to talk about this. Um, this is what we're using to indicate direction. And this becomes very useful when you have such a big gap up. But it's a 30-minute range, right? So if you're using my charts, it will provide rather these levels. This is the 30-minute low, and this is the 30-minute high. So we want to see a move back up here that fails to go retest yesterday's high. Um, that's what this green line is. Now, if they just push it down here, this is where the bulls have to step up. So the bulls need to defend a 77. So here, our setups right now are we are going to sell 96 if it gets there, or we're going to buy 77 if it gets there. That's our setup at the moment. Okay. Yeah, mine literally crashed a couple times today. So I don't know what's up with that. That's never a good sign. That's never happened, by the way. All right, so we have an ATR of 5. We're using a 5 handle stop. So we want to see this push up to 96. I think we can get more out of these trades. So I'm offering up here to get short at 96. I don't know if it'll get there. Let's see. All right, so right now, and by the way, this moving average that you see on the screen right here, this is from this chart right here. So we're testing the hourly midband as support, right? So this is the hourly chart. This is a long typically, right? So this is a long typically, but we're inside of this roundy here and underneath the initial balance. So we'll see. That's not good, man. My Sierra is like really dicey. That's not good. So might have to trade on think or swim. Eeks. So likewise, if we start spending time underneath of the hourly midband, I'm afraid that this is going to lock up when I get in a trade, you guys. What the absolute heck is going on here? It's locked up. Hang with me. Let's see. I don't know how to do that, Ned. Yeah, it's not a good feeling. Scuba tech, three finger salute. And the other thing that's happening, by the way, let's just kind of talk about some stuff that we can talk about. I'm still going to sell 96 if it gets there. Um, is this right here. So you had divergence this morning, big divergence with AD. You see how AD right here, the advanced decline. So this is the advanced decline. AD is going straight down. The little red squares underneath these candles indicate a new low in the advanced decline. You had price rising and AD declining. So you had a negative divergence that did signal a reason to get short up here. And it's still declining. So it's going straight down. And typically that wins. Right? Typically that will win. Okay. This is just a dome. I don't have any studies on the dome. Hmm. All right. Well, I can't trade that. I can't put a trade on with this. All right. So we're gonna have to trade think or swim. All right, hang on. Let me do one more thing here. Let me do one more thing here. Let me close that. I want to close everything else that I have open. All right, so let's watch it for a second here. We still don't have a setup, so we're not missing anything. Let's see if that fixed it. Da, 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 da. I think that fixed it. So we're just waiting, you guys. We're just waiting. We do not have a setup at the moment. Um, what is interesting is we are seeing, I mean, it is possible that we're going to put a little trend down day together here. This is the XSP. It has broken its opening range. It's underneath of the previous day high. Or sorry, not the previous day high, but it's underneath of its 30-minute opening range here. So that's interesting. We'll stick to our plan, you guys. We're going to buy the 77.5 down here if it gets there. Nice hash. Excellent. Now we can take a very aggressive trade short at 88 here. I feel like it's pretty aggressive, but if it gets there, we'll do it. All right. We'll short 88. That's a nice lower low. Let's see if we can get a back test up here. And we're targeting this level down here. So we're going to short this if it gets there. And my risk is these wicks up here. So I don't want to see it go past 92. Now all of a sudden it's getting quiet. I'm watching the NQ on another screen. It's still kind of a mess over there. All right, so while we're waiting for this to happen, excuse me, let's go over here to AD's making new lows. Because we did the Fibonacci stuff yesterday. So we have an opportunity to update a Fibonacci. You guys remember that session? Were you with me in that session? Would you like to see me update those Fibonacci draws? Let's do it real quick. So right here you have a trend change, right? Followed by trend continuation. Look at these bars, by the way. These are 10-minute bars. Followed by a big old trend change again. So when you're doing this, when you're updating a chart that looks like that and is doing this, that just adds to the fact that it's very, very risky here to trade this stuff right now. Super duper risky. Especially on the long side. Ugh. But let's see if they're going to defend yesterday's high right here. See if they'll defend yesterday's high. So let's go back over here real quick and let's do the same thing on the ES. Let's update the ES here. Okay, so we have the ES has pushed down. So we have a trend change right here. And you can see this was a trend change. So whenever you're doing this, you're seeing trend change, easy for me to say. That just gives you an indication of, really sloppy kind of trading there. All right, so let's see. I'm just gonna buy this, you guys. This is definitely counter trend. But if they're going to defend an area, it's going to be around here with the 77 level, as well as this is yesterday's high. So they make a big high overnight, and they should back test the top of that candle from yesterday. Let's see. Oop. Okay, we're long 77. We're buying something going straight down. Ruh-roh. If we're right, we're going right back to 88, by the way. So I don't like the bar close below. But let's see. Let's just give it a second here. They're trying. It's trying. It needs to this 2-minute candle needs to close above this 80 here. We should get a test of 80. Will we get filled there? I don't know. We need a higher high real quick here. There we go. All right, so it tested 80, but it didn't fill me. Come on, man. Push, 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 push. Do not stop us out. Just go, go, go. All right. We got stopped out. Damn it. Ay, 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 ay. I'm going to go one more time here. I'm going to go one more time. Just being stubborn. So again, I am counter trend. So I am kind of, being a little conservative with this. But we should lift up here to this 80. All right. There we go. All right, we got a +3. It required going again. Our target is the 87 up here. So we want to see it reach back up to this level here. We have a trade that's working. It definitely feels like it's going to come back and take us out again. But let's see. It could lift off of here too. All right, so we got 3 points out of a counter trend trade here. Yeah, that was a long, Bill. So I bought 77. Right. So the logic here is it's not so much the level as it is this. This is yesterday's high, right? So on this candle, I don't know where our gap fill is. We're just back testing the top of this candle right here. That's all we're doing. So you want to see that hold. I'm going to give it a second now. I just did it twice. So versus what though, Andrew? Using a 1-day 10-minute chart versus what, more days? I mean, you don't have to use a 1-day. It could be a 10-day. It could be, I'm not going back too far on this stuff. And honestly, yeah, it is a 1-day. So it's neither here nor there. Look at this. You stinkers. We're still a short opportunity up here, but we'll ladder up, which means we'll get long again if it gives us some constructive price action here above this high right here. That makes sense? Let's check in on the NQ also. Let's see what that ATR looks like. It's 30. So we're gonna stay out of that side of the tape here, you guys. Sorry if you want to trade some NQ, but I think we need to stay out of that thing. All right, so let's try one more long here. I'm going to buy 80. So I'm going to get long 80 because I'm using this level now. This could fail. I mean, this could absolutely fail on me. It is still counter trend. But we should go get this 88 up here. Yeah. All right. They're coming to get me. 77 is a better entry. So now this has violated my risk. I have an emergency stop sitting down here. I am going to get out of this trade right here we're going to take it off at 78. So we're going to take a -2. That's really kind of what I was risking in the first place, right? In other words, in my mind, I did not want to risk more than 2. So I'm fine taking it off for a -2. I may even buy it again there, but that is a weak reaction. Now what we're going to do is see where it's going to close relative to this. If it closes underneath this level again, it puts this in the crosshairs. So Bears kind of have the ball here. I'm going to do an aggressive short if this closes below. So we'll get short on trend if this closes below here. And we're going to target the overnight low, which is 64. All right, hold my beer. I'm going in. I'm going to short 78 here. Oh, this is where I get in trouble. Yeah. Instant -5 coming up. I took the bait. I took the bait and they took me, they're going to take me out. So we'll see if we can get out of this. It's violating our risk again. We'll give it a minute. You stinkers. Nothing I can do. So I'm just going to take my lumps here. I'll take it off at 80 if they'll let me. The battle is right here with yesterday's high. So a -2. So a -2. What do you guys need on the ES? What do you need, Crazy Fox? Someone else asked for an ES chart as well. What do you need? This chart right here that's on the screen? Or what would you like? So we're -5 on the ES right now. And we're just, price is kind of fighting itself in a phone booth here. That's a study, Crazy Fox. That's a study. So that's this study right here. It is on that chart that I just shared with you. All right. I hate to do this. I hate to keep flip-flopping. We have a potential higher low. I'm going to buy the 80 one more time. We got AD starting to react favorably for a long setup. We got AD rising. It's off the lows. It's always tricky for my ES folks. It is always tricky on these on these round numbers. It's always tricky. But we're off the lows and kind of we got this rising AD working here too. We've got still have a 5 ATR, so let's bump that up to 80.5. So on that, by the way, if you want all the studies in there, or if you want, all of this, you either have to right click and save the study set right here, or just save the whole chart and it will be there. It's turning into a coin flip, but we're going to give the nod to the bulls here to see if they could push this thing. Remember, I think we can hit the 88 up here. I only got filled on one contract. There we go. We have both contracts. Hmm. 77's the deal. All right. Well, I can't find my car keys this morning, obviously. Let's see if they can get back up to yesterday's high. This is just really choppy, you guys. This is extremely choppy. I don't mind taking that heat, but they got to get back through our level here and get and rip to the 83. This is what I mean about these round levels. You guys in my mastermind, we talked about that this last Tuesday. They're just a pain in the butt. But maybe that little push down there will give us a launch here. In the 82, this level is pretty tricky to get through on either the NQ or the ES. So we can see where the fight is here. We can see where the fight is here. It is on yesterday's high. But we've got a rising AD. We just need a little volume on that side of this thing and it'll go. Okay, well, we're closing inside of it. Let's just see. Gosh, man. Get to the chopper. The ES. It's a slow one. It is slow. If we can produce a higher high, if we can go get this, it will break out, in my opinion, back towards VWAP. But it's got to go get that. They're chewing through some supply here. I mean, honestly, the target here is back to the roundy. If they can hold, yesterday's high. Come on, Bulls, let's go. We're betting on you. You can't do that. You guys, the onus is on the Bulls to perform here because of what they did last night. All right, now let's go. This should squeeze through here. Actually, I think we can probably do better than an 83.5, but let's just stick to our plan. Let's just stick to our rules. We got 83.5. So dicey, but long was the way. And let's see if we can get, I don't know if we're going to get a 90, but we should get an 88 here. Right? It should retest this level from below right here. So the good thing about the ES, by the way, typically, the good thing about the ES is that when you're in a good trade, it usually doesn't come back. So if we're going to lift up here, we should be okay. We do have a 5-ish ATR, so it could still pull back 3 on me and then go again. The better trade was obviously buying our level 77. Yeah, see, they're just going to come take me out. So let's wait. This is really choppy here. Let's go check in on the NQ here. Let's just see what it's doing. We still got 27 ATR. Darn it. Yeah. All right, let's do an NQ trade, you guys. We're going to do an NQ trade in a very high volatile or high volatility. I'm going to show you guys what I call a back through entry. Let me change over my chart here. See, it's unfortunate when it does that. It just takes you out and then it goes. It's just sloppy. So again, I'm trading small. I'm trading the micros just to give you guys some examples of trades here. Look at the difference in the dome. Look at the difference in this. Look at these bars. Hello. They're pretty darn big. All right, we've got higher lows here, but we got all these closes under this 50. I'm gonna buy the 56. So I'm gonna buy the 556 if the 50 holds again. But I want to let price go down to the 50. I'm going to show you a back through trade here. Okay. Show you how we enter trades in very high volatility. all moves, okay, in the NQ, if you want to make a note of this, and the ES as well, but all moves happen from these inflection points. All moves happen from these inflection points. So we're going to get this move from the 50. This is either going to come down to the 50 and reject back up here, or it's going to dump out right there. But we're not going to be in a trade to find out what it's going to do either way, right? There we go. That just gave us some clues right there. Let's go with price. Let's buy the 66 right here. Oops, wrong bracket. Hang on. We're going to buy the 66. And we're going to target this up here. Now, I'm just accepting the risk in this trade. This could fail. This could cost me $60. And I'm okay with that. As long as they can hold above this 62, I think we're going to get going here. All right, we got a +5. So we have risk out of the trade. Okay, we got a +5. Let's see if we can get a +20. If we can test this 77 again, it should bust through. Go. Now the ES is starting to go. Rodney, I tried for you, buddy. I tried to trade some ES for you. It was just a chop shop over there. It's still in a 3-handle range. Let's see if we can reach up here to 88 or 86. Nice, Sean. Good job, man. Kind of zoomed in here. Hang on. Really choppy stuff, guys and girls. Very, very choppy stuff here. So we've got an even stop. We can't lose money on the trade. We made money on the trade. We want to see these candles. See how these candles close below the level? We want to see the body of the candle close above this gold level right here. This one is ideal. If we can do that, I feel like we can go get that, right? And we'll get our +20. Good, Sean. And look, this is one of those tapes where you just want to get your day done, get the handles you need, and get the heck out. All right, ES is starting to lift a little bit. We might get more out of this. Let's look around here. We'll stick to our plan here, you guys. We'll stick to our plan. You know what? We're gonna look for more. Let's look for more here. Let's see if we can get a 96 out of this. Because if the ES can really catch a bid, I feel like we're going to head right back up to cash up here. Okay. Nice, Oso. All right. So everybody perks up when we start trading the NQ. Keep going. This bar is about to close. So we want this to close above this level. If it closes above this level, we're going to get that second piece here. There we go. All right. Keep going. I'm going to lock some in here. Not yet. I'm going to wait a second here. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to this. If the 72 holds here, womp womp. Oh, this thing's a mess, you guys. Wow. That's nasty. All right. So what did I do there? Okay, that makes sense. So Bostic's on the wire. Jeez. Just skipping along, doing our thing, and Bostic throws a chair in front of us. This is an impulse bar, so we don't do anything on that at all. Yeah, I screwed up. I should have stuck with my plan and took my +20. Oh well, no big deal. So let's wait. Well, this is a special tape here today, isn't it? ES is right back under the 80, you guys. So the ES came in just as much as the NQ here. I think they're equally as hopped up. Run for your lives. All right, so let's go check on our 10-minute chart here. Whoops, sorry about that. So we do have trend continuation on the ES, and it did reach up and test that midpoint. That's pretty nasty, you guys. Maybe the bears are going to show up here. So we're going to stay away from the longs. We might get short here. So anybody that's new to my session is probably a little confused right now, as in terms of my lingo and how I'm talking about this. All I'm doing is navigating the tape and these candles based on my levels right here. Okay. That's all I'm doing. And so this makes a lower low, but quickly comes right back into this zone. So it's kind of turning into a no trade zone here. Hmm. Yeah, it's you don't have much of an edge here. Yeah, we're gonna stay away from this, you guys. This is not good. So um, we're just gonna have to back off. Sorry, we're just gonna have to back off. This thing is nasty. This thing is nasty. There's more risk versus reward in this tape right now. And we've got a Fed speaker. I thought they were off for a month. What is Bostic doing? So let's go over here and look at an hourly chart. See if we can glean some clues from that. It's a big, nasty outside bar on the hourly. Not quite outside, but that's a big hourly bar for the ES. They're doing their job in terms of defending the 77. So if you guys get my pre-market playbook, that is the bull case, is for them to defend the 63.77, to seek the 88 and then the roundy and all this back here. So they're doing it so far. So far, they're doing it. And we look at our range overnight, 62 points. Our range overnight is 250 points on NQ. So you knew it was going to kind of be spicy today. Bostic's applying for a job. That's pretty good. So when we look at candles like this, just stay out. This is consolidation. We're going to get expansion out of here. The longer it sits here, the more of a which way, just start flipping coins. Seriously. Or like Bostic, start flipping burgers. Because it's a crapshoot. And if you just happen to pick the wrong side, it's going to take you out. You're going to get a minus 15. Price is going to come right back to your entry, and you're going to wonder what happened. You're going to have a little whiplash there. So we're going to have to sit tight, everybody, on some live trading. I'm definitely, here if you guys want to talk about anything on these strategies, on these charts, if I can clarify anything for you, if we can go over anything, I'm glad to do that. But I think we got to step aside. Yeah, I think we're just going to get hurt. Nice. Silvis, very nice. Silvis got the week done. Sean got the day done. Got out just in time. you want an edge when you're trading this thing. You want to feel like you have some semblance of where we're going. And this is just, it's a volatility box. It's going to break one way or the other. The indication as we're looking at the AD, the advanced decline, continues to make new lows. So everything kind of leans towards a breakdown. If our 26 sets up here, we'll buy it. If the 26 sets up here. That is not the weekly open, though. That's last week's open. This week's open is the 850, so hang with me. So the best ATR to trade for NQ is over 10, but under 20. So anything between 10 and 20. On the ES, anything between 3 and 6. You want to think about the stop loss, your emergency stop, right? It's an emergency stop. You don't want it getting tagged unless like, Bostic or J-Pow or Trump comes out and says something, and it goes, down 100 points. You'll be glad to take a minus 15 emergency stop. All right, this is setting up our 26 here. This is setting up our long 26, but this is going to be a breakdown outside of this if it gets there. So it may just go straight down to this 06. So we got to be careful. We're going to do this on what's called a back through entry. Okay, so I'm going to buy this, but we're going to buy it on a back through entry here. Yeah, we got to step aside, man. When we don't have an edge, this thing will absolutely humble you. It will humble you big time. No, Andrew, the rule for back through trades is over 20. The no trade rule is between 25 and 30. Between 25 and 30. So we're in that zone right now. So because it's a very high probability trade, I will do that type of entry technique. Just as an example. But other than that, I'm staying outside of it. Lewis, a back through trade is basically was this trade that we were in right here. So essentially what I'm trying to say here is that if the 62 holds, we're going to do that, right? But it's very important. Hang with me. It's important to see. I'll just show you right here. Hang on. So if the 22, if this level holds, I'm going to put my order in at 26 to buy it, and we will catch it back through. Right? I'll show you. There's no reason to buy this. There's no reason. We're going to step aside, you guys. This should go to 33, but these are impulse bars. There's a very good chance that there is some kind of news hitting the tape right now. So we're just going to step aside, you guys. Sorry, not sorry. Got to be the adult in the room. And we can watch our setups. The 26 did achieve a 33, but the risk is just too much. So we're going to step aside. The resolution from this is down. It's made a lower low in conjunction with the advanced decline here. Yeah, what we want to do, folks, is we want to respect these products that we're trading. They're very high levered products, okay? And we don't want to just willy-nilly, in this type of environment, just start clicking the button. We want to feel like we have an edge, right? And right now, I don't feel like I do. I mean, I'm really stoked to see our 26 work out like that. But there's times that I don't trade them. You have to just step aside. So let me see who's coming up next here, you guys. I wish we had some more trades. We had a couple of examples of some ES trades, which I don't get a lot, opportunity to do with you guys. So I'm really glad I was able to do that. But now, all things to be fair, this thing is going to calm down. At some point, it will calm down. Okay. So it's not like you have to go take your toys and go home. It will calm down. It will be more tradable. But this stuff right here that's dangerous stuff, because all of these bars, each one of these bars is 30 points. And you're using a 15-point stop. Right? So let's just say that you bought this 56. You got stopped out for minus 15 here, and then it went right where you wanted it to go. Right? It went right where we wanted it to go. And so you would be like, what the heck just happened here? So Lewis, that's why you would use the back through logic is, since I'm not looking for a trade here, is if this is the risk level that we would hold the trade through. If that holds, we catch it going back through, rejecting back up, right? And likewise over here, if we were using this level here, the 82, we would short it as it does that back through. So maybe we'll get an opportunity to talk through that some more, either in the futures room or in here. Blake is coming up next. He is entering the building. So, I hate, it's a waste of a Thursday for me, you guys. I hate this because when we don't have an opportunity to do morning trades a lot, only on Thursdays. And this is it's keeping us on the sidelines here. So Blake, we got a special one today. We got false breaks. We got ticks flying.
Well, anytime you have Bostic, I almost said a potty word. Anytime you have Bostic talk, yeah,
he's not boombastic.
Bostic has a tendency to speak out of turn and act like that's what everybody is agreeing to in the Fed, and he's been shown repeatedly that he says stuff that the Fed is not. They're voting and everything else, and the minutes don't show that. And so I think he created that extra volatility. Now everybody doesn't know what to do with it.
Yep.
So.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to hand you guys over to Blake. I got to get going. If you guys need me for anything, please shoot me an email, support@TheoTRADE, put it to my attention, and I will get back to you. We'll do this again tomorrow afternoon, or I don't know. We do have a suggestion box. So fire your requests into the suggestion box. We'll see. We'll see if they get noticed. Everyone have a good one. I'm going to make you the host. Do I have to make you the host?
I got it. They just did it.
Just leave, man.
You just leave, okay?
I'm gonna leave. All right. Leave. See you guys.
All right. Thanks, Tony. Okay, just give me 1 second, everybody, and we're gonna go ahead and share my screen.